Hey Pokemon champions, what's going on? It's Champion DarkBlaze here and Pokemon Sword and Shield. They introduced us to Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, incredible new form changes with incredibly powerful moves that can affect weather, induce status conditions, or lower or increase stats all at once. These powerful new mechanics are pretty freaking awesome in my opinion, but with Diamond and Pearl Remakes seemingly on the way in 2021, I like to think about what new Pokemon can get new forms in the Diamond and Pearl Remakes. A while back I made a video talking about the top 10 Gigantamax forms we could see in the Diamond and Pearl Remix for older Sinnoh Pokemon. I even discussed why Dialga and Palkia aren't going to get Gigantamax forms because they fall in the similar category of Groudon and Kyogre who got Primal Reversion. So today I do want to talk about one Pokemon in particular that could very likely get a Gigantamax form, and that is the creator god Pokemon in the Pokemon world, Arceus. Arceus, the creation Pokemon said to have created the Pokemon universe using its 1,000 hands. Now it's speculated that the unknown are the 1,000 hands of Arceus, or the 1,000 arms, whichever it is. But Birdkeeper Toby also made a video discussing how Eternatus could have been a dark hand, similar to a dark or fallen angel, that could have been one of those 1,000 hands of Arceus. But I want to expand upon this a little bit and discuss why Arceus could get a Gigantamax form and how it ties into the Gigantamax energy of the Galar region. So if you want to hear more about why Arceus is going to Gigantamax in the Sinnoh remakes, then make sure you leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. Without further ado, let's talk a little bit about Arceus.
Alright, I choose you!
So, Arceus is the creator Pokemon in the Pokemon world. It hatched from an egg, but what's interesting to note about when it hatched from an egg is that it came from a vortex. In the center of that vortex of swirling chaos at the beginning of the universe, there was an egg. From that egg hatched Arceus. And then, after that, Arceus was said to have created the entire universe, using its 1,000 hands. The widely believed theory is that the unknown, because they have so many ties to Arceus and the Sinnoh region in general, is that the unknown are the 1,000 hands that Arceus used to create the universe, as Arceus clearly does not have 1,000 hands. But then Birdkeeper Toby makes a theory about Eternatus being a dark hand of Arceus when creating the universe. Now what's interesting to note is that the origin story of Eternatus and Arceus is very similar. Arceus was hatched from an egg, while Eternatus came from a meteorite in kind of the same way that Deoxys did when we learned about it in the Hoenn region. Eternatus is even shown hatching from an egg when it is debuted in the Sword and Shield games. Chairman Rose hatches it from that egg in order to bring about the Darkest Day once again, and of course, it becomes your mission to stop Eternatus. But let's dive deeper into why Arceus is going to Gigantamax in the Sinnoh remakes. Now, if we know anything about Arceus, I'm sure everyone knows that Arceus has 17 different plates in the Pokemon games, each one corresponding to one of the 18 types, aside from normal because it's inherently a normal type. Now when traveling through the Sinnoh and Unova regions, and even Kalos or Alola, you can find the 16 plates for Arceus. However, there's only one plate you can actually find in the Galar region, that being the Pixie plate representing the Fairy type. All of the other plates do not exist in Galar. However, it's also interesting to note that you can get a type null gifted to you and evolve that into a sub-ally in Sword and Shield. That's interesting to note. So that's just a small piece, but not really a big piece of evidence as to why Arceus will Gigantamax in the Sinnoh remakes. Now, focusing on these 17 plates that we have for Arceus, what I want to point out is text that is inscribed on these plates when you retrieve them in the games. If you pick up certain plates, there's actually a text order that will appear depending on how many number of plates you have. And depending on how many number of plates you have at the time, if you collect a plate, it can say this: the power of defeated giants infuses these plates. Now, defeated giants, at the time in Sinnoh, we did not have any quote-unquote giant Pokemon. We didn't have Gigantamaxing, we didn't have Dynamaxing. So if there were a giant Pokemon, it could only be a legendary Pokemon, as they are substantially larger than your average Pokemon. At least in the anime they are, because Groudon's Pokedex entry does not make it large. So defeated giants. With Sword and Shield, we just got Dynamax and Gigantamax. So we have these quote-unquote giant Pokemon that exist in the Pokemon world. The Darkest Day was all about these giant Pokemon rampaging all over the Galar region. Now we all know that this darkest day was caused by Eternatus, this poison dragon type. Its energy is responsible for the phenomenon of Dynamax and Gigantamaxing. So what if this dark angel, this fallen angel known as Eternatus, had to be stopped, but not just by the two heroes of the Galar region, but by Arceus itself? Now of course Giratina represents Satan in Pokemon mythology, but if Eternatus is a fallen angel, it can also have a similar vibe or representation to that of Satan or the devil. And of course, Arceus represents God, and God needs to keep everything in check, so it would make sense if it went and stopped Eternatus. Therefore, if Arceus did in fact stop all of the Darkest Day events and all these rampaging Gigantamax Pokemon, then it would make sense that its 17 different plates are infused with the power of defeated giants. And many people also believe that the unknown are the Thousand Hands of Arceus, because if you go to the Johto region, there's the Ruins of Al. And the Ruins of Al being specifically in the Johto region is very noteworthy because with the mythical event of Arceus in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, bring Arceus to the Ruins of Al, it unlocks the event, you go to the Sinnoh ruins, and you can have Arceus create another egg of one of the members of the creation trio, being Palkia, Giratina, and Dialga, but it uses the unknown to do so in that entire event, which is why we believe more so that the unknown are the 1000 Hands of Arceus. Now, I did not find a specific Gigantamax form of Arceus like I did for Palkia, Dialga, and Giratina, but a Mega Arceus would in fact be an incredible iteration of what a Gigantamax Arceus could potentially be. And I think this is going to happen because Arceus has a god complex, being the creation Pokemon. So it makes me seem like Arceus should have a greater form, a mightier, higher form that truly exemplifies and personifies this god complex that it has. And if Arceus does have the power of defeated giants infused in its plates, then maybe it could unlock its own Gigantamax energy. If Gigantamax energy does exist within every single plate of Arceus, then maybe Arceus can potentially Gigantamax. Eternatus can Gigantamax into its Eternamax form, because it can harness the power of Gigantamax energy. So if Arceus has this same energy stored within its plates that it can manifest around itself and use those powers willingly whenever it pleases, then it can Gigantamax in the Sinnoh region. So between the unknown being the hands of Arceus, or the plates that you can't find in Galar but you do get a pixie plate, and with the power of infused giants being a text that is inscribed on these plates when you collect them, I think it makes all the sense in the world that Arceus in the Sinnoh Remakes can unlock this stored away Gigantamax power. Arceus doesn't really seem... it has a divine concept, I will admit that, and that's obviously its inspiration, being a divine creator. But Arceus' design, along with being a normal type, doesn't really scream this is a god-created Pokemon. So I believe it's gotta have a Gigantamax form, a mightier form. So with all these points, I do believe Arceus is going to get a Gigantamax form in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. So there we go, Pokemon Champions, that's just my little theory about why Arceus could potentially Gigantamax in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. But what do you guys think about this theory? Do you think Arceus will get a Gigantamax form? Do you think it has that mightier form that's just been locked away up until this point? Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. I definitely think that it is interesting that Eternatus comes from a meteorite like Deoxys, and that Arceus' plates have that power of infused giants. So I'm just thinking that the twin heroes of the Galar region probably needed a little more help in stopping the Darkest Day. So I believe Arceus played a role in that. But you're gonna have to let me know if I'm right or wrong down in the comments below. And remember, until next time, Pokemon Champions, train hard, I'll catch you guys later.